Hey guys, Jared here, and in this video I'm going to be sharing my thoughts and impressions of the Ubisoft 2013 E3 press conference. Ubisoft actually had a pretty good one this year, and first thing they announced was South Park, The Fractured But Whole. You can dissect the title there and figure out what the hidden element of it is, or hidden interpretation of it. But anyways, they had Trey Parker and Matt Stone out there to present the game, and they were basically saying that there was some things that they messed up on in South Park, and that the game was well received. But they said that there were some things that could have been improved, and they took feedback from the fans, and they're going to make a much better game than previously. So this one should be a treat. I never played the original South Park. I don't know if I'll pick this one up. Sometimes the humor in South Park is a little too vulgar for my taste or too immature or whatever. But I've watched several episodes of it, and I've laughed. I think it's pretty funny a lot of the times. Anyways, so that's that. The next game they showed really impressed me, and it's a new IP, and it's something that's very new to. It's a new genre, I guess, if you want to say it like that. But it's definitely a new concept that's I've never seen before in games. So it's the title. It's a new IP. It's called For Honor, and it is essentially like a medieval online combat. It's like the mode that they showed there was a 4v4 mode, and there's like knights, Vikings, and samurai. So there's all these like warrior factions or warrior civilizations, and they are all quite a bit focused on like honor or whatever, at least especially the samurai or whatever. But they said they seemed like the perfect match. But anyways, so there was the guy that came out on stage. I don't know what his name is. I don't have it written down, but he was like the perfect guy to be presenting it. He's kind of seems to be like the head honcho behind this project. But the game looked really amazing, and the presentation was very good. They brought out two teams of 4 players on each up on the stage from the studio, and they did a live demo there on the not the show floor, but at the conference, and it looks pretty good. I would say it does seem like there's a lot of motion blur in that game, and when I watched it, it almost seemed like it was too much, and the game was looking kind of blurry at one point. But I think on the stream it might have been lagging a bit or something like that, and it wasn't coming in very good. So it might have been coming in sub HD, but. Because I watched it later, and the game does look pretty good. But they haven't announced much about it. But they just basically revealed that it's a working title. So anyways, next they showed Trials Fusion, awesome level max, which is quite funny. There is a cat. Oh my goodness, how did I forget this? I think it's a cat riding a unicorn or whatever. But it's like shooting guns. There's explosions and rainbows and all that crap. It's pretty funny. So it's an extension to Trials Fusion, an add-on. So it's coming out July 15, or 14, excuse me. So that actually looks pretty cool. I'll probably pick up Trials Fusion later this summer. Next thing they showed, this is a game that I've anticipated a lot, was The Division. So they showed some more gameplay on The Division, and they showed what they refer to as the Dark Zone, which is kind of the main section. I don't know if it's in the center of the map, but there's a large portion in the map, which is just Manhattan, the main downtown Manhattan, and this is where everything's like it's quarantined off and everything, and it seems like this might be the main place where other players go to. They can find rare loot and they extract it, and seems like, I don't know if this is the only place you'll meet other players. I think you can meet other players throughout the rest of the game, but this is like the main area where any PvP combat goes down. But it is also still populated with some enemy AI as well. So essentially, you have to grab your whatever items you find and extract them. And while you're extracting the items, everybody all the other players can see where you're at. So if you're wanting to extract, and they see that, they'll be like, hey, you know, they're wanting to extract something, so maybe they got some good loot, so they can go there and try to take you out and steal your loot. But yeah, it is pretty looking pretty good so far. They announced the release date is March 18th or March 8th, and it's funny, like when the lady that was presenting or that was up there doing a lot of the introductions, she was like, "Oh, you need a big bottle of Xanax there, because you know." Trying to say like you're gonna be playing this game for a lot, and the guy said, "Oh, and it's perfect for DLC as well," or something like that, and that really turned me off. Like the fact that he'd come out there and specifically, you know, be like, "Yeah, we're planning to put a lot of DLC into this game," and especially knowing that most players have kind of a negative opinion of DLC, that just really turned me off. But anyways, and then of course a big staple of Ubisoft is, which I don't really pay much attention to, but it's Just Dance. So Just Dance 2016 will be coming out, and they had, as a promotional thing for it on the stage, or as an announcement, they had a live performance by Jason Derulo, which I'm not a big fan of him. I don't really know anything about his music, but for the people that like him, it was pretty good show, and he was mentioning how he's played the game and how his niece plays it or whatever. So yeah, and a lot of his new songs will be in that game. So anyways, next, I will actually mention on Just Dance 2016, they did not show any gameplay, which to me that's a really big mistake. Like when you don't show any gameplay for your game at E3, and especially if it's a game like Just Dance, where like it would be key to, I mean, most of the stuff they show in gameplay for those games is very misleading anyways, but it would be nice to see gameplay for all those games. So that's coming out in October, and it will even be coming out for last gen consoles and even the original Wii as well, which was interesting. So anyways, next is Rainbow Six Siege. So they had a teaser trailer with Hollywood actress Angela Bassett, and she is playing Six is her character, and she's like the at the HQ and giving all the orders to the Rainbow team. Rainbow Six Siege also marks the return of a beloved game mode by fans, which was called Terrorist Hunt, but it's returning as Terror Hunt or whatever, and you can be played solo or in co-op with up to 5 players. And next they showed Trackmania Turbo, which we didn't get a release date for this, or even a window if it's going to be free to play or anything. We don't really know anything about it. At least I didn't catch it. But it is essentially kind of more along the lines of Trackmania Nations. So it's kind of got that almost like indie thing on a very arcadey track. So anyways, next, which is a game that obviously, the franchise, is probably one of the biggest staples of Ubisoft, and that is they showed a new trailer for AC Syndicate. And it was a CGI trailer, and I was really hoping to see some gameplay, which I did later when I was watching the live demos. But it's looking okay. It's kind of buggy right now, but it seemed to be running fine. It wasn't having any frame rate issues, but that's in the current build, and they have a lot of bugs to iron out, and maybe even some graphical improvements that they need to make. So, well, we'll see. But the one thing the guy said that really made me go like, huh, was that he said it's the very first modern installment in the Assassin's Creed franchise. So I don't know what he means by that, if he's talking about the era, or maybe he's talking different new features that they're adding to it or whatever. But either way, everything that they announced, it was nothing really new to the franchise at all. I mean, there was like a grapple hook type thing that you can use to traverse, and they're like, oh, the combat's even closer than ever, and you don't have like swords this time. It's more like knives and stuff, like close combat weapons, or like, well, just smaller weapons, because they want the combat to feel really tight. But I don't know, that comment really made me, it kind of puzzled me. Like, I don't know exactly what he meant by that. But anyways, now to end things off, they announced a game in next game in a series that I have very much enjoyed over the years, and I think it's amazing. It is the Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon series. So they announced the newest installment in the franchise, which will be Ghost Recon Wildlands. And essentially, you are the recon team, and you are your mission is to infiltrate. You're like in South America, in Bolivia, and you will be infiltrating drug cartels and shutting them down. And then they showed on the demo two different methods of. Or actually, it wasn't really a demo; it was more of a trailer. A gameplay trailer. They showed multiple ways of infiltrating. Like, you can either go in guns blazing or in tactical. So you can either go in guns blazing or tactically, or you can like go in under the cover of night. And they showed it. It was raining and everything. And they took the stealth approach, but the game is like, it looks good, and it's gonna be like, it looks like 4-player co-op. I don't know. I really hope they have on-screen multiplayer. It's kind of like a dying thing, and maybe for Ghost Recon it's not the best, but definitely on most first-person shooters and racers, they need to bring that back. But anyways, it's going to have 4-player co-op. You can probably play by yourself with AI as well. But the coolest thing about the game is that it is going open world, and it looks like a pretty massive open world. It seems like it's mostly focused in Bolivia and just other parts of South America, but it almost seems like we'll probably maybe see something in the United States, or maybe like in Mexico, or maybe somewhere in like Europe or Russia or something like that as well, or maybe even Asia. So who knows? But the game looks good. Ubisoft, I think, did a good job. The lady that they chose to do most of the introductions and stuff like that, she did pretty good. And Ubisoft had a good year this year. So overall, I would give them probably an A- on their press conference. And I'm looking forward to seeing if what they've talked about, like especially with games like The Division, Rainbow Six Siege, and Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I really want to see if those games live up to the hype that they've been getting. And I know, especially for the Assassin's Creed team, they had a kind of video, and were also kind of apologizing for how they've kind of messed up on Unity and stuff like that, and they're assuring us that, like, yes, we're innovating more and everything. But I don't know, for that game particularly, I'm skeptical. But we'll see if any of that stuff comes to fruition. But yeah, Ubisoft had a good year, and I'm looking forward to new content coming from them. And it seems like they're having a revival of being a top player in the industry and producing good quality games. So that wraps up my review of Ubisoft's 2013 E3 press conference. If you liked it, leave a like and comment, and even maybe subscribe. So until next time, my name is Jared, and I will hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.